Hey everybody, it's Christina from Business. I am going to do a quick walkthrough of some tips that can help you prepare your questions for your technical interview. In technical writing, you are required to complete at least one expert interview and to use the information from that interview in your report. So let's take a look at what are some of the pieces that will be important in this interview. First of all, what is the purpose in this interview? What is it that you are trying to learn? Second, are all of your questions specific and clear? Perhaps you want to give a list of your questions to a friend or a classmate, even me, and say, hey, are these questions clear? Do you understand what it is I'm trying to ask? Next is, have you avoided yes/no wording, also known as close-ended questions? And then finally, have you checked for loaded or biased questions? This is extremely important for those of you who are working on a topic that could be controversial, could have bias. You want to make sure that you haven't stacked your questions to lead the person that you're interviewing. So you're attempting to get fact-based information in this interview. Next, let's talk about a few other questions. Have you considered the proper, most logical order for your questions? As you're writing your list of questions, kind of go in your mind into the interview and think about the flow. Does the order in which you've written your questions make sense? Have you asked for follow-up questions? Think about what your interviewee's responses might be and where might you need follow-up. Are you ready for follow-up questions? So for you to ask them or for them to ask you. Have you saved the most difficult, complex, and most sensitive questions for last? That's a really important piece is, kind of building the know, like, and trust factor with your interview candidate until you get to those sensitive questions. So build up that relationship, build up that rapport with them, and then get into those deeper questions. The final question on this slide, have you asked for permission to create a transcript of the interview? Oftentimes what students find is the interviewee will say, you can do a transcript, do not name my company, do not name me. If you run into that situation, you're welcome to have a conversation with me. That's something that happens quite often. If you run into a situation where your interviewee says, absolutely not, you can only take handwritten notes or typed notes, no transcript, no recording, please reach out to me. I can work with you ahead of time to manage this for your report. Do not come to me the day the report is due and say, oh, sorry, by the way, they told me I couldn't do a transcript. You will not get the points if you manage it in that way. So be proactive, make sure that you're thinking about your time in a way that's going to best serve you. Finally, consider this question to conclude your interview. You can do whatever final question you want to, but here's an example of a really good final question. What else would you like the readers to know about this subject? This is the assumption, right, that you're writing a technical report for somebody somewhere, some audience, to read this report. It's not just for this class. And so you want to ask your expert, what else would people need to know? All right, folks, that is it for the interview questions. If you have additional questions, that's great. If you are still confused, concerned, or would like to talk to me, make sure that you just set an appointment. I'll be happy to help you out. Okay, folks, have a great day.